start to the season, mate. 5 and zip. You must be pretty happy with the way things are going.
Yeah, certainly. I don't think we could have really dreamed about starting any better. 5 and zip's a fantastic start to the year, but we understand there's a long way to go and a lot of games to go. So, we're certainly not resting on our laurels, and we're still tucking in, doing the hard work.
Obviously, a great performance against Melbourne. How's Matthew Pavlich pulled up?
Yeah, Matthew and Sonny are both well, just like normal around the club today. So they'll obviously have their tests and stuff they have to do this week to pass, but understanding that their future mental health is more important than a game of footy.
Are you expecting them to play this weekend?
Oh, I've got no idea. As I said, it'll be up to the doctors and the medical staff and their tests.
How did you go with the rotations on Sunday, given that took place?
Yeah, typically as a mid, you still get the luxury of a couple of rotations, and a few of us were going forward instead of coming off, but it's really the high half backs and the high forwards that you feel sorry for in those kind of situations. They get left out a little bit. So, but the boys pulled up really well today. Moving well again, and we'll be gearing up for this week.
Is Ross Lyon a pretty hard man to please? He looked like he gave a fair spray at 3/4 time, and it obviously spurred the guys on in that last quarter.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what we asked for in Ross, is to be really demanding and a perfectionist for us. So, although we're playing well, there's still a lot of areas that we can certainly improve and tinker with, and Ross is always quick to point those out.
Your own form's been fantastic. Is there any secret to how well you've started this year, or have you just been preparing really well as per usual?
Yeah, I don't think there's any real secret to it. It's just a lot of hard work over the summer months. Physically, it's put me in the right kind of frame to play well, and then I think our entire midfield group this year, their mental approach to games has been first class, and we're playing really aggressive, instinctive football, and I think that's really paying off for us.
Talk about the balance of the midfield. It just seems guys are stepping up in different roles each and every week, and it's very tough, it seems, from the outside for opposition teams to cope with the depth that you've got across the board. How have you assessed it?
Yeah, I think that, as I said, a lot of the guys are playing really well and on edge, and we understand that if you slip up in our team, we've got guys knocking on the door. Tendai Mzungu, who's a regular last year and one of the first picked almost, he can't get a game at the moment. So all the guys are fully aware of the competition that's coming from below and are really eager to put their best foot forward. And I think the Fremantle midfield machine's ticking along well at the moment, but like with anything in life, you still got to work hard at it, and we'll have another great challenge this week.
David, on your form, do you think it's the best start you've had to any season, personally?
I think so. I've been very happy with my personal approach and mindset going into games, and kind of helping the rest of the group really drive our performance, and I certainly haven't been alone in that aspect. There's been a number of guys step up this year. Nick Servan's playing a bigger role in there. Clancy Pearce has come back in and is doing a great job as well. So I think there's probably 7 or 8 guys who are really driving the mids at the moment, and I think it's been very beneficial.
Is it purely the fit? Some of those guys had injury problems last year. Is it purely the fitness of the squad that's driving that?
I think that's one aspect. I think the natural progression of footballers as you get a little bit older and realise that you're not in it for as long as you might hope to be, and you've got to really work hard for it. And then the demanding nature of our football club to get the best out of each individual, and then their personal drive to see that.
As you talk about your own start to the year, you say you're really pleased with it. Is there any sort of particular factor that's really pleasing? Is it that contested ball that you are winning? I
think it's just the mindset and I guess the nature of my effort over the 4 quarters within games. I've just been pretty happy with how I've been going, to be honest, and understanding that it's could be a fleeting thing, and there are 18 more rounds or whatever to go. So still trying to work hard and keep that edge.
Just on Pav, couple of knocks last year, and obviously the one at the weekend. On face value, they don't look as though they're huge knocks, head knocks. Is that sort of concerning, though, that it is having an effect on Pav when it doesn't appear to be a huge incident?
I'm no medical authority on this issue, but my understanding is that if you get hit in the right place, it doesn't take much. And so, hence all the tests and the strict nature of the concussion laws coming into the AFL now. And I think it's been a great improvement for the AFL players and the AFL that it's so strict and so hard to get back on the ground after one of those knocks, and all the tests that he has to do. So, as I said earlier, I think Pav's and Sonny's mental health moving forward is more important than any one game or any quarter of football. So there'll certainly be a very careful approach to them this week.
Sports around the world, there's a lot of emphasis on head knocks and protecting the players, as you just touched on then. What about from a player's perspective? Is it an area that you guys are worried about at all throughout your career, if it kind of accumulates or anything like that?
Well, I'm quite fortunate. I haven't had many head knocks. So again, I'm probably not the best person to ask about this, but yeah, I guess head knocks in general are quite a concerning part of the game, and something that I don't think we'll ever be completely rid of. Some things are just accidental, but I think the approach that the Players Association and the AFL are taking now, with being really cautious and looking after the guys in terms of not letting them come back on, has been a great step forward.
Given the depth that you talked about earlier, you're pretty confident that even if Pav and Sonny do have to miss, that you guys have got the coverage there?
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen in the last few years without Pav, we've managed, and Chris Mayne's playing fantastically well at the moment, so we've got no issues there. And as I said, our depth through the midfield and across our entire team, with guys pushing up from Peel, is really spurring our group on, and so we know that if we lose one or two soldiers along the way, that someone will step into the breach.
David, you haven't lost many games over the past couple of years in Perth, but Essendon are one that have beat you. Are you mindful that any Essendon side could turn up this weekend? They've been very good against Sydney and Hawthorn, but pretty poor the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, I think we sort of seen earlier in the year that they've come out to play really aggressively, and I think historically their travelling record is pretty good, and certainly against us it's been quite good. Yeah, so we're certainly not relaxing this week or taking our foot off the gas. We'll be on high alert and hoping to play the kind of football that we've displayed in the first 5 weeks.
The Bombers haven't won the contested possession count in any of their games so far. It's obviously something
Terrific.
that you guys, something that you guys pride yourselves on. Is that somewhere you can get an advantage?
Well, hopefully, yeah. But again, who knows what could happen on the day if we relax by a couple of percent. You know, that could really be an altering factor on the game. So, as I said, we'll just be gearing into our key focus areas during the week and dissecting Essendon as best we can, but going out on Saturday night hoping to play the kind of football that we have so far.
The coach will want this to slip by, but he's coming up for 200 games, coach, this week. Can you give us some thoughts on how the playing group thinks about him and sees him as a mentor and what he's meant to this club since he's been here?
Well, yeah, I didn't know that, but yeah, Ross is obviously highly valued within these four walls. He's a demanding, perfectionist coach, and he's got a photographic memory, and he knows what he wants and how to get it. So I think he's been fantastic for this club. He's been fantastic for my football, and I think we've got a long way to go with Ross.
How's he been as a mentor away from football? A few of the guys have talked about him being a pseudo father figure and just a really good person in trying to develop young men. Is that something you've experienced as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Ross is always very keen for us to pursue outside interests, uni work, whatever it may be, and he's always happy to blend our football program around exams or a bit of work or whatever may be. So he's first to kind of knock on your door and ask you if you've got anything coming up, and he's very flexible with the commitments from the football club.
What's your favourite Ross Lyons saying?
Oh, there's a few, and there's some I can't repeat in this room. So.